Hey guys, Time Itself here, playing a little TDM on Plaza with the SWAT, my favorite assault rifle. And I haven't used it in a while, and I got to thinking about why that was and what all the implications of that were. So that's what I want to do this commentary on. I just said, I really like this gun. It's the first gun I got gold for, and yet it's been more than a month since I last touched it because I've just been working on other assault rifles. It's not that it's that much better, it's just that I really enjoy using it and I feel like I'm effective with it. I mean, all credit to the challenge design. I, like so many other people and many of you, have decided that, hey, it would be a great idea to go ahead and try and get diamond camo for every weapon class and show off that gaudy camo to as many people as I can. Yes, I've played this game entirely too much, and I am proud of it. So, I mean, it's been a fun challenge. It hasn't been too much of a grind, except at a few points. That SVU, oh my gosh, we talked about that already. Anyway, while that's been fun, getting the clan tags and emblems and, getting through the weapon prestiges hasn't been quite as great, and mostly it's just because I don't have as many of the weapon attachments. So I get here and I've got diamond for most of the guns. I think I still have the XPR and the riot shield to go, but I've barely used a lot of those late unlocked attachments, like the dual band. It's actually pretty good in this game, unlike its Black Ops 1 counterpart, or the millimeter scanner. Interesting sight, would like to try it out some more, but every time I unlock it for a gun, I usually don't get to use it because I started using a different gun. Keep trying to grind out these diamond camos. Or dual wield. In case the Cap 40s, wait, those were really good dual wield? I don't know, I barely used the Cap 40, I was working on the other pistols. I didn't get a chance to try them out while they were apparently pretty darn good. So, I don't know where we're going with this whole thing. And yeah, it's great to encourage people to try out all the guns, but on the other hand, this system is set up so that I actually don't try out all of the attachments. I've said it before, and I'll stick to it. And I don't think that putting weapons or attachments or stuff like that behind level requirements or challenges is a good way to balance a game. Just because fewer people have something, it doesn't mean that it's going to be any more balanced. And yet we have a situation here with the most recent balance patch where they pretty severely nerfed the dual wield Cap 40s, and I didn't really know this was a thing, but apparently it was for competitive play, where they don't have to unlock their weapons and attachments and all that stuff. These systems just kind of seem like a way to set up a game for some kind of midlife crisis. A couple months after release, everyone's unlocked things, has started to figure out how it works, and suddenly like, oh, this is the best way to play, and everything else is clearly inferior, and it's not a matter of preference or whatnot. There is clearly a best weapon for every category. Then developer comes back and says, oh, wait, that's not good, that's not what we wanted. So, and Call of Duty's been pretty good about rebalancing things as they go, but for example, Battlefield 3, a couple months after release, DICE completely reworked how the attachments functioned. And it wasn't just that they rebalanced things, they didn't just change the numbers, no, they changed the functionality of a lot of the attachments. As they realized their design philosophy before was, oh, this will make it better this way, this other one makes it better this way, but you combine things. Yeah, those who play Battlefield 3 are familiar with this, but they changed their design philosophy about how weapon attachments should be balanced, and that said, oh, these things should have a downside, there should be a penalty for running these, and the option of running the weapon without any attachments should be completely possible too. And yeah, they went through a fairly serious kind of mid-game life crisis, and thinking, so the way we started out was interesting, but it turns out once everyone had everything unlocked and players were familiar with the game, there became a very clear optimal strategy, and we kind of needed to go mix things up again a little bit. So with DICE, at least I appreciate that we're still around to come back and do that, but I have to think that if you didn't have to spend hours and hours unlocking everything and all the different weapons, that would have been found sooner. But it's not just about weapons or attachments, it's about the game as a whole, so that includes the maps and the game types. What Treyarch has also done in this most recent patch is to say, hey, we're going to change the way we weight the preference for spawns in domination. They say they've increased preference for spawning near teammates and slightly decreased it for spawning near flags that your team controls. How much? I really don't know, but this has meant that I have to put a couple projects on hold, including the next epic domination game. I had one on Raid that I was working on, and it's coming along fairly well, but they've changed the spawns. I don't know how much that's going to change the game type, how we play it.
Now, I'm a little surprised by this change because I don't think it was too easy to spawn trap at all in Domination, especially if you compare it to something like Demolition or CTF, where the spawns are very, very set. I don't know what they're thinking. It's kind of a surprise to me. You know, a couple months after the game comes out, to say, hey, we want to tweak this. I really don't explain how significant this is. I just said they've done something, and so I'm going to have to go back and basically figure out how significant that change is, and until then, I have some projects that I've put some work into that I'm going to have to put on hold, and, you know, depending on how things work out, I may never end up putting out just because they're no longer relevant. Anyway, that was a 17 kill streak in TDM. I'm trying to get that 20, but it's kind of hard. I'll get there eventually. Still, that's another challenge with 50 wins. It's just going to take a while. It'll happen. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.